This is Paul for Redneck Sports. I believe that everybody should win in life, or at least attempt to. The first three maxims of General Robert Neyland's game maxims, I believe apply to everybody. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. If at first the game or the breaks go against you, don't let up. Put on more steam. Welcome to the channel. Now let's discuss some sports. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. We got 2 weeks left in college football for the regular season, and week 13 has some, games that are just going to make an impact. For that matter, this week has games that, even if it's not CFP related, man, these games should be watched. Okay, I'm going to pick 5 games. I'm not saying that they will go the way that I think they'll go, but I am saying that if you love college football, these are 5 of the games that you should be paying attention to so that you really enjoy this coming weekend. So here we go. First game that we're going to talk about is a top 5 pick. Indiana, undefeated Indiana, number 5 in the nation. Ohio State, number 2 in the nation, 9-1. They've only been beaten by Oregon. It's going to be Curtis Rourke, quarterback for Indiana, going up against Will Howard, quarterback for Ohio State. Rushing yards per game, Ohio State 69th in the nation, 82nd in the nation for Indiana. Hey, not a lot of difference, but still. Passing yards per game. Indiana is 33rd. Ohio State is 45th. They're not that different. Total yards per game, they're like 2 yards apart. Indiana's 21st. Ohio State's 25th. These two teams are pretty evenly matched on paper. Justice Ellison for Indiana is their leading rusher, 686 yards. Quinshon Judkins, the leading rusher for Ohio State, 723 yards. They're not that separated, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be one of those games that's going to decide quite a bit, but it's going to cause a lot of people to go, maybe Indiana was just got such a cupcake schedule. We're going to see, aren't we? This next game, I have been secretly rooting for Colorado. I have. They're 8-2. They're going to be playing Kansas this week, and most people are thinking, well, it's Kansas. They're 4-6. Yes, but they've been on an upsurge. They barely got beat by Arizona State. They beat Houston, barely got beat by Kansas State. Iowa State, they beat. BYU, they beat. Undefeated BYU, mind you. And now they're going up against Colorado at home. Holy cow. The defense is starting to work better for Kansas. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still rooting for Colorado in this game, but this is a danger game. Kansas is fighting to get to a bowl game. Colorado's fighting to get in the college football playoff. Now, who would have thought this? When Coach Prime took over, they were 1-11. They're now in the talk to make the college football playoff as a 2-loss team. No joke. They are looking at, they got beat by Nebraska and they got beat by K-State. No joke. That's who's beat them. And that was earlier in the season. And Colorado's offensive line has been holding really well. They got two players that should be in the Heisman talk. They've got so many weapons. This game is going to be interesting. It could be a blowout, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be hard fought at Kansas. Okay, another Big 12 game. Unranked Arizona State, who is 8-2. Why they're unranked, and so many teams that have 3 losses are ranked. I like South Carolina. Don't get me wrong. I think South Carolina can beat Arizona State. I think that Missouri, they're going to be unranked, but K-State, yeah, no. BYU, formerly unbeaten BYU, 9-1 now, and Arizona State are going at it. Big 12 implications. Arizona State's scary. Let me tell you, Arizona State is scary. Yeah, they lost 24-14 to Cincinnati. But look what they did to K-State. They beat them 24-14. They're a scary team no matter what you look at. Their only other loss was to Texas Tech, which is an interesting team in and of itself. Sam Levitt, their quarterback, 1,906 yards. Sam's Tebow, leading rusher, 1,074 yards. The second leading rusher, Sam Levitt. So they're a passing team. Their leading receiver is Jordan Tyson. Their second highest is Cam Scabetto. So they've got a two-way weapon right there, rushing or catching. This team has some interesting dynamics. BYU with Jake Retzlaff, he's got 2,283 yards passing. LJ Martin, 501 yards rushing. Chase Roberts, leading receiver, 659 yards receiving. Now, Sam Levitt's only got 4 interceptions on the year with 17 touchdowns. Jake Retzlaff has got 8 interceptions, 19 TDs. LJ Martin, 5 TDs. Cam Scabetto's got 11 TDs. This is a interestingly matched team dynamic going on here. I don't know if BYU could pull this off. They're going to be in the doldrums because they just lost. So how are they going to come back mentally? And Arizona State, they're, they just beat K-State. That's a big win. So we're going to see how this one goes. We really are. Now, this next game, I don't think that it is anywhere near where people are claiming it is. But still, Notre Dame and Army are playing at Yankee Stadium. So this is not a home field advantage technically for either team. Even though, look at where West Point is. Not like they've got to go that far. So it would have been a home game for them if they weren't rebuilding their stadium. Notre Dame, 8th in the nation. College football playoff contention. Army's 9-0. 24th in the nation. Now look, I don't think, in all honesty, that this game is anywhere near what everybody thinks it is. Yes, Army's way better rushing team. Passing yards, Notre Dame isn't amazing, but they're far better than Army. Total yards per game, if it wasn't for the rushing attack, and you take a look at how Notre Dame dismantled Navy. They dismantled them so badly that Navy hasn't been able to win a game again. I don't think that Army, even though they've wrapped up, they're going to go to the AAC championship, they're not going to be able to handle Notre Dame. But everybody's wanting to watch it, and I want to watch it too, mostly because, well, go Navy. I'm not going to say the rest about Army. This is going to be a far more interesting game. This is a 16.5 point difference that the bettors are saying. Yeah, I want to watch it just to see Army get dismantled. Last game, we're going to the ACC. SMU is playing Virginia. Now, most people really didn't look at or don't look at Virginia all that well. Well, let me tell you something. Virginia, even with their losses, are a scary team. They lost to Maryland. Okay, fine. But one of the games, or these are the games they lost, barely lost to Louisville. Okay, Clemson beat them double digits. They lost by double digits to Maryland. Lost convincingly to North Carolina, but they beat Pittsburgh in a close game. Richmond is kind of ranked, and yes, they're an FCS school, but they're still a convincing FCS school. They beat Wake Forest. Coastal Carolina was a convincing win. They beat Boston College, which has done some interesting things this year. And they just lost to Notre Dame. SMU, who, yes, I believe is a good team. They deserve to be where they're at. Their loss was to BYU. You saw what happened to BYU, and it was a close game. But they barely beat Duke. Boston College actually did some damage to them. This is a team, they barely beat Nevada. This is a team that has its weaknesses. And let's see if Virginia can do it. I'm not sure if they can or not, but I think that the two teams are going to be quite interesting to see up against each other. I think at the end of the day, SMU is going to win, but I think it's going to be a battle to see who's going to win. I really do. I think that Virginia is trying to get into a bowl game. I think SMU is trying to say that they deserve to be in the championship for the ACC and a chance to be in the college football playoff. So we'll see. We really will. I think these 5 games are the ones to watch this weekend. Yes, I did my normal UT game, but these 5 games I think will make an impact. I think these 5 games are worth watching. I think that by the time that you're done watching them, you will have enjoyed your weekend far more than just watching all the big names. I think these 5 games really will produce games that people will be talking about after the season is done with, and will cause people to realize what they've been watching this year. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Hey, enjoy you some college football this weekend. Thank you for watching this video. I've had some fairly good success with all of my Redneck Sports stuff, and I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that rigmarole, and also just let me know what you want to hear about. I'll give a redneck spin to this stuff. Let me tell you, I love sports. So I love people that want to join me in that. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.